Welcome to another episode of Stocks to Watch, where we dive deep into the world of emerging markets and game-changing industries. Today, we're turning our spotlight onto one of the most fascinating and enduring symbols of wealth and beauty, diamonds, and exploring the journey of these precious gems. Joining us is a visionary leader who's making waves in the diamond industry, Ewan Mason, the chairman, president, and CEO of Star-Diamond Corporation. Under his leadership, Star-Diamond is at the forefront of acquiring, exploring, and developing some of the world's most promising diamond resources. They're trading on the TSX as DIAM, and today they have a big announcement. Ewan, welcome.
Thanks, Ashley. Great to be here.
Always great to see you. So I really want to start by congratulating you on releasing an updated mineral resource estimate for your Orion South Diamond Project. Now, the increase in the resource estimate is quite significant, but what really struck me was your decision that no additional bulk sampling is required on the Orion South kimberlite to complete a feasibility study. So what will be the expected outcome of this decision on the project timeline, the cost to finish the feasibility study?
Well, you're right to be struck by it because it's truly a seminal moment in the advancement of this project. To be able to do this and not take the bulk sample cuts out at least 5 to 7 years to completion of the feasibility study. And our previous partner, Rio Tinto, had forecast that a bulk sample could cost anywhere from 200 million to 1.2 billion, deciding on how much you were going to take. And they weren't going to take one anyways because they're a big company, but they thought we would have to do it. Now we don't have to do it, so it's a pure win, and it accelerates the period to 3 to 5 years towards breaking ground, which is truly magnificent outcome.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations again. Let's talk about diamond pricing paradigm and what was used for determining the new resource estimate.
Well, that's a good question. Our diamond pricing was as of June 27th, and it was basically interpolated by our diamond specialist, Nelson Caroon. And so he had to use the very base model at which diamond prices are right now, which is basically we're down 30% from their high in 2022. So to be able to increase by an average of 30% both grade and resource in a diminished diamond price environment is truly epic. And you can only imagine what will happen when the diamond price goes back up.
I like the fact that you use the word epic, because really, when you're reading the press release, when you hear the news, it is epic. And it's not seen widely, I would say, especially in your industry. So how does the increased resource estimate impact the actual valuation of the project you speak of?
Oh, it's a magnificent impact. In fact, we've had a couple of calls yesterday and today from industry players going like, "Are you sure about that? Like, is that for real?" It truly is something, so enormous that it's turning heads in the industry, because the fact of the matter is everybody knows that diamonds are there, but nobody realized how much we had underestimated the grade over the years because we did not have the benefit of the work that Rio Tinto had done. Now that we were able to integrate that with our results and spend a lot of time doing statistics on all the deposits, all 2 deposits, we were able to come to this conclusion. And, I can't say anything about value, but honestly, orders of magnitude is likely, I think, here at the end of the day.
Fantastic. So given the fast tracking of the preliminary feasibility study and feasibility study, do you have cost and timeline estimates for their completion at this point?
Yeah, well, we've always said now that if this worked out, and it did work out, we would be able to complete a pre-feasibility study within 1 year and a feasibility study, which the pre-feas would morph into, within 2 years. And our cost would be 3 to 5 for the pre and 5 to 10 for the feasibility. Those numbers still stand. However, they pale in comparison to the original numbers forecast to do that work, which is roughly $400 million. And as I mentioned, 5 to 7 years. So way ahead of the curve now. We'll be breaking ground before you know it.
Yeah, and kind of a two-part question here. Under your leadership, this is magnificent news. I'd like to know what your personal reaction was when you heard this, and even just looking over the bullets of the magnitude of what it is your company is doing right now. What's your reaction, and how does this help you propel the company forward?
Well, when we started this exercise, Ashley, the whole goal was to be able to prove that we could mine Orion South first because the previous work was all done on Star Diamond. So I was expecting a save here at best. To get numbers like that, um, mind blowing. I was shocked when I saw those. In fact, I was so shocked that I told my technical team, you take that back and scrub it again from the beginning to the end because those numbers are truly magnificent.
So what really does this mean for potential investors and your current shareholders?
Well, I think this means we've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that this project has resilience beyond anything else out there. And I believe that it will attract attention from other industry players. Right now, we're searching for some royalty or debt bridge financing. I think we're going to get that based on the phone calls we've had. And I think it really does bring the timeline, into a manageable period. 3 to 5 years of breaking ground in a project this massive. We're talking a billion-ton earth-moving exercise. I think it brings it into the here and now.
Excellent way to put it. So I will ask you, speaking to our audience, speaking to our listeners, our viewers, what would you say, obviously, right on the heels of this major announcement, what makes Star Diamond a compelling investment right now?
Well, there's a lot to say on that, Ashley, but you can boil it down to a few points. Number one, legacy diamond supply is falling off the planet. I mean, the 15% reduction at the end of this decade, and it's not just legacy production, it's conflict-free production. So, Canadian diamonds are conflict-free, and we will have them in spades. Number two, we're coming out of a recessionary environment, which has really stifled the purchase of high-end diamonds, which is what we have. So one could logically expect that to turn around rather quickly. Number three, ESG compliant. I mean, this project is likely to be carbon neutral, if not carbon negative. We're going to develop it with the partnership of the local Indigenous communities. And if at the end of the day here, what else is there now? It's important that these diamonds are seen as ESG compliant to millennials who are going to be the big purchasers of these big stones. So I could go on for another hour if you've got the time.
Listen, I think you hit it right on the mark. I know that our audience is busy, and I'm sure they have a lot to digest with this amazing interview from you. Star Diamond Corp uncovering innovative techniques, cutting edge technologies, bringing these sparkling treasures to light, and how your work is shaping the future of the diamond market. And I must say, really appreciate your commitment to environmental sustainability. Ewan Mason, Chairman, President, and CEO of Star Diamond Corporation, thank you so much for your time and for sharing this exciting announcement here with us on Stocks to Watch.